Welcome to Zocaso training. The purpose of this training module is to show you how to respond to a trip request from the very beginning. When you first are matched to a trip request from a traveler, you'll receive a message in your inbox that looks like this. It includes Zocaso Handcrafted Travel, and then next steps, information, recommendations, and then information for your initial response. The new trip, you can actually click on the View Trip Request button, and it'll take you directly to the trip request that you have been matched with. We request that you respond to these trip requests within 24 to 48 hours, and the information is in the specific trip. So if you click on that View Trip Request, it'll take you to the trip, and you can look through the trip request information as I've described in another training module. But a quick overview is the traveler information appears here. Another note, the phone number, if there is a phone number provided, will not be shown until you have made the first response through the Zocaso system. But we do let you know whether or not it includes a phone number. The basic information is all here. Please read it carefully, particularly the budget and whether or not it includes the international airfare as well. And then trip details information is here. There's another section at the bottom that goes in if there's additional information or additional comments, and if Zocaso has communicated with the traveler, we will preface it with Zocaso notes so that you know that it's something that Zocaso has communicated with the traveler. We request that if you decide that this is not something you guys want to do, you click on the decline button and tell us why. Otherwise, we request that you accept this trip request within 24 to 48 hours so that we know that you are going to be working on this. Now, once you have decided to respond to accept the trip request, I recommend that you right-click on the button Respond to Traveler and open it in a new tab so that you can go back and forth and look at the trip request information while you write your first response to the traveler. So the company introduction appears here and pre-fills automatically, so it saves you some time. And then if you have additional questions for the traveler, you can ask them, do you need a tour guide? You know, specific information that that you notice about their trip request that you can help them with automatically. Just to make a note, the first response, the salutation, is pre-filled for you, so you don't need to write that in. Even though these are broken up into boxes, they will appear in the signature. They will all appear as one message when you write to the traveler. If you would like, you can include attachments here. And a mandatory field is to have a trip title for this trip. So you must fill this in, otherwise none of the message won't be submitted and the trip plan will not be created. In order to open up any additional information that you want to include, you have to click on the blue bar. And it's highly recommended that you add photos because that will really help you market your trip to and differentiate yourself to the traveler. All your payment terms, payment options, and cancellation policy automatically pre-fill, and this is also you can save it to your company profile by checking or unchecking these boxes, and you can also go into your company profile to edit them. So once you've submitted this information, it will appear in your company outbox if you need to double check. Please note that the phone number will show up here once you've made that first response. You can write it down, or if you ever need to look at it, you can find it in the trip requests that is related to this trip. And it shows up in the travel information section. So you'll always be able to access it. So in terms of following up on additional messages from the traveler, you can go through and look at the company alerts and make sure that you have responded to any new trip requests that we have sent you. And if there are any messages that are waiting response from you, they will show up in this section, and messages for which you're waiting for a response will show up in the third section. For active trips, we recommend that you go through this at least once a week to see if there's any active trips that you need to further communicate with the traveler. And then at least once a month, we recommend that you go through and update the status as to whether the trip has been chosen, confirmed, or if it's been declined by the traveler. So for instance, let's say that this trip number 72375 has been sold. You can click chosen, and then it will move over into sold. So under the sold trips, you can also change it to confirmed if you've received the payment and or the deposit. So that's what we would recommend. If there are any trips that automatically go into the inactive, or you've moved over to inactive and you want to move back into active, you can find them in this inactive folder and click on them and change the status here. And if a traveler responds after 2 months and has automatically been put into the inactive folder, as soon as they respond, it actually gets moved automatically into the active folder. Any sales, you'll get a notice once a month saying that you need to update your sales information. And so you can do that by clicking on this pencil button here on the right, and you can fill in the total amount for the group, the departure date, and the commission to Zocaso. If there's any notes, such as non-commissional items such as airfare, you can include that in your notes on the commission. And then once a month, we will invoice you, and that's for departures from the previous month, and the invoices are due at the end of the current month. So that is essentially the life cycle of a trip. And if you are looking for responses to and from the traveler, you can look in the company inbox, even though you will get a notice as well that will take you directly to the message. And you can take a look at the messages here. If you want to look at what responses, if you want to open up a trip, you can just click on the link, and it will, open up the response. So I just want to wish you good luck on your responses to the traveler. Again, remember that you must remember to update.